Okay, we're going to light our oven. The first thing to do is take all your existing plates out. Remove those first. Then also we're going to just give this valve a bit of a flick. The butterfly valve at the top there, when you give it a slight flick, you'll notice that a little bit of carbon will come down off it. We're going to blow that carbon away. Then, as we use the valve during our cooking process, we're not going to allow any of the carbon from the previous fire, or the last 3 or 4 fires, to come down onto our food. So what I'm going to try to do here is have 2 pieces of timber. We're going to stand them up like so. You notice I haven't cleaned the oven yet. There's no need to clean the oven. You only have to do that every 4 or 5 times if you want. It does add to the flavour. So what we're going to do, first of all, I use gum leaves because I have a lot of gum trees around here, so that's a natural way of lighting the fire, and the gum leaves are excellent. They take off like a rocket. There are natural fire lighters available, and they're okay, but don't use the petroleum products. You can burn the petroleum product off with a lot of heat, but I don't risk tainting the oven with the petroleum products. So even paper, I mean, if you've got paper's fine. But I like using the natural products which is available. Just have a look around. There's plenty of gum trees in Australia, so it's not hard to stop in and find some gum trees. Now, I've got a variety of different selection of timber. I've got timber cut about that thick. You can cut these in half. I just cut them like this because it's that's the way I've cut the black wattle down. I'm using black wattle today. Now we have some kindling. Right? It's not too thick. It's not too thin. We're going to layer this kindling crossways first. The idea is we're forming a platform underneath it. Let the air underneath it initially. Once this fire's going, it doesn't need the air, but and then we lay it that way, and then we lay it crossways again. Just leave a space in between the timber so that your air can get through it, so your fire can get through it. Because once this gets going, it goes pretty quick. Okay, we want it nice and hot to start with, because that's going to burn off all our residuals from the last cook. By the way, excuse my dress, my shorts and thongs and t-shirt, but that's what I normally wear when I'm cutting the wood and lighting the fire, because you get a bit dirty and you can go and have a shower and that before your guests arrive. Hopefully. Right. And we can set those in place. Now, we can also go a step further, and sometimes you can light that, let it go, then stack your timber in afterwards, but I normally just confident enough that it's going to go, hopefully, and we will just stoke it up. This is the only time you're going to stoke this up with us. Afterwards, we're only going to use probably timbers that size there, and 2 pieces of timber that size there will increase your temperature by 120 degrees, 150 degrees for an hour or so. Once the fire's hot, you put 2 bits of timber on like that, and you'll get an extra 150 degrees. Of course, once that timber ignites and starts going into a coal, you'll turn the oven down, like I'm going to show you, to achieve the temperature you want. Right, that's more than enough. I'm actually going to burn this oven off today, get it rather hot, and then and clean it, and it'll go pink, and all the residuals will be burnt off it. So now, just need a fire lighter. Next thing to do, don't forget, is to put your top door on. If you don't put your top door on, you're going to get a lot of residual. You're always going to get a little bit of carbon, and that can be washed off in it. But you need to put your top door on. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of smoke coming out the top. So put the top door out. We have the flue is wide open. The flue is wide open, right? So we haven't dampened the flue off. Flue's wide open. And we'll see how this natural timber goes. Sometimes it takes a couple of lights to get going. As you know, once the forest fires start going, they don't stop very quickly at all, unfortunately. But as I say, you can use natural fire lighters, which are available. As I say, I just like using the material that's around available. Now that'll get going pretty shortly. So our door, these have actually modified platforms on here that stop the heat coming out and touching the handle, which makes it a bit cooler for me. They are an option. You can have them if you want. Some people think they look a bit ugly, so I haven't put them on all the doors. The slide valve available to dampen the oven. We're going to leave it on full to start with. Now this oven's starting to go, so we're going to put the door on, which is going to stop the smoke coming out on us and coming out the flue. Now that's going to get cranked up. I'll just get okay, it's been going for about 3 or 4 minutes. I've just taken the bottom door off, which you don't want to do because you can see the residuals coming out, but just to show you how the fire ignites quite quickly, as an indication of what sort of temperature we're getting here. The gauge at the moment is clocking on, it's just rising over 200, and you'll see it is rising, and that'll go to about 350 at this stage. You'll see the temperature rising there. That'll go to about 350, and then we'll hold it at that, and then we'll back it off so we're able to cook our initial food. Back shortly. Now, this is basically an exercise just to show you how we reduce the temperature down from 350. I'm going to close the valve off and leave the butterfly valve fully open, but I'm closing the valve off down the bottom here. So if you watch the valve, it will start to decrease and come down, and it'll keep on going down to around about 220, 215, 210 degrees, and then we can reduce it further with using the butterfly valve. See, we've been going for about 25 seconds now, and it's already dropped down to around 230, and we continue to drop our temperature. It'll take around about 8-9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to drop right back down to about 210 degrees. But you can see how quickly that temperature does drop.